On May 24, 1991, a rebel army marched into a capital city without firing a single shot. They defeated a superpower-backed military and permanently stripped an empire of its access to the sea. Welcome to This Day, That Year, where we uncover what happened on this exact day in the past. On this channel, we break down complex geopolitical events into simple 5-minute explainers. Looking at a map of the Horn of Africa during the Cold War, you wouldn't see Eritrea at all. It was completely absorbed into Ethiopia, stretching along the strategic Red Sea coast. The conflict over this strip of land escalated into a proxy war of survival that systematically dismantled a heavily armed empire from the inside out. The roots of this war track back to 1952. The United Nations implemented a flawed resolution that forced Eritrea into a federation with the Ethiopian crown, supposedly granting Eritrea autonomous self-governance. The Ethiopian emperor systematically dismantled that autonomy. He banned local languages, suppressed political parties, and in 1962 officially annexed the territory as a province. Eritrean nationalists refused to accept the erasure of their sovereignty. This immediate backlash sparked a grassroots armed rebellion. When international law failed to protect the Federation Agreement, Eritrean citizens launched a resistance movement that evolved into Africa's longest continuous armed conflict. In 1974, a revolution overthrew the Ethiopian emperor. A Marxist military junta, known as the Derg, took power in Addis Ababa. The Derg quickly aligned with the Soviet Union, triggering a massive influx of military hardware. Billions of dollars in tanks, supersonic jets, and heavy artillery funneled to the Ethiopian army to crush the Eritrean insurgency. Facing overwhelming firepower, the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, or EPLF, retreated to the rugged northern mountains to fight an asymmetrical war of attrition. The fight pitted a civilian-backed rebel force relying on scavenged weapons against the most heavily armed conventional military in sub-Saharan Africa. In 1988, the EPLF launched a massive offensive at the Battle of Alphabet, completely annihilating Ethiopia's heavily fortified northern command. The rebels captured thousands of Ethiopian soldiers, massive stockpiles of weapons, and 3 Soviet military advisors who had been directing the battle. 2 years later, the EPLF initiated Operation Fenkill. This was a massive 3-day land and amphibious assault on the strategic port city of Massawa. By capturing Massawa, the rebels completely severed the primary maritime supply lines feeding the Ethiopian army's occupation. These compounding tactical victories neutralized billions of dollars of Soviet hardware. The EPLF had grown from a mountain insurgency into a highly effective conventional army capable of dismantling superior forces. By May 1991, the Ethiopian forces collapsed completely. EPLF fighters entered the capital city of Asmara entirely intact and without any bloodshed. Instead of declaring unilateral independence right then, the EPLF established a provisional government. They wanted to secure international legal legitimacy first. This chart shows the results of the UN-supervised referendum held 2 years later. Out of over 1 million registered voters, 99.8% cast a yes vote for independence. With the vote certified, Eritrea was formally declared a sovereign nation on May 24, 1993. Waiting 2 years to hold a legal referendum forced global recognition of a victory the rebels had already won on the battlefield. Eritrea's independence had an immediate geographic consequence. Ethiopia instantly lost its entire coastline, becoming the world's most populous landlocked country. It is now forced to route 95% of its trade through the tiny neighboring port of Djibouti. Meanwhile, Eritrea secured its status as the sovereign gatekeeper of the Red Sea, a vital maritime choke point controlling access between Europe and Asia. Arbitrary colonial borders and the resulting proxy war locked the Horn of Africa into a permanent state of geographic tension, setting the stage for future border conflicts and an ongoing struggle for sea access. The legacy of May 24 proves that highly disciplined asymmetrical warfare can rewrite maps and dictate the economic survival of hundreds of millions of people. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more 5-minute geopolitical explainers.